Israel bombed Damascus to stop a massacre, and the world's first reaction was to condemn Israel. Not the massacre. The strike that ended it. If you want to understand this conflict in a single episode, this is the one. Here is what happened in Suwayda. Suwayda is a Druze province in southern Syria. Rural. Impoverished. Roughly 700,000 people. According to Druze eyewitness accounts recounted by Khalifa, and I want to be precise here, these are testimony figures sourced to eyewitnesses and community messages, not independently verified, roughly a year after the fall of Assad. Syrian state and allied forces, plus assorted gangs, assaulted the province. The reported details are these. A heavy machinery column reportedly 6 kilometers long. Over 100 participants in the massacre itself. The reported toll, around 4,000 dead. 35 villages occupied. Tens of thousands of people displaced into schools and tents. Over 120 women still missing, feared taken as sex slaves. A hospital holding 200 to 300 people was emptied, and the dead thrown into the streets. And Khalifa makes a point that matters enormously. This was not a spontaneous eruption of violence. He traces the ideological driver to Ibn Taymiyyah, the spiritual father of the intellectual tradition behind ISIS and Al-Qaeda, who authored a treatise on the Druze concluding that they should be exterminated. That means the massacre wasn't a riot that got out of hand. It was doctrine executed. Now, who stopped it? Israeli strikes on the convoys, culminating in the bombing of Damascus. And the world's reflex, Khalifa calls it Pavlovian, was to condemn Israel for striking Damascus. Sit with that sequence. A minority community is being massacred. One country in the world intervenes militarily to stop it. And the international response is to condemn the country that intervened. Now, why does Israel do this? Because the Druze are not a charity case to Israel. They're family. The Druze community in Israel volunteers for combat units at the highest rate of any group in the country. Higher than Jews. Read that again. The minority community volunteers to fight for Israel at a higher rate than the Jewish majority does. They're in the army. They're in the police. They're in the Knesset. There's a blood covenant there, and it's not a metaphor Israelis use lightly. When Israel struck those convoys, it wasn't doing a favor for strangers. It was defending the relatives of its own soldiers. And this is where it connects to everything else. Because look at what happens to minorities across the region, and then look at what happens to them in Israel. Christianity is collapsing across the Middle East. Iraq's community has fallen from over 1 million to a fraction. Syria, Turkey, Egypt, Lebanon, shrinking or driven out. Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, under Palestinian Authority control, went from a Christian majority to a small minority. Israel is the only country in the entire region where the Christian population has grown since 1948. The only one. And Open Doors, which publishes an annual list of the 50 worst countries on earth to be a Christian, doesn't have Israel on it. Not the top 10. Not the top 50. 9 of the top 10 are Muslim majority. Meanwhile, in Israel, 2 million Arab citizens, voting, legislating, sitting on the Supreme Court. Muslim women serving in combat units and headscarves. Bedouin towns that turned in terrorists on the second day of October 7th, when nobody was watching and nobody made them. Israel is the only secular, non-Muslim state in the Middle East granting Muslims, Christians, Druze, and Baha'is equal legal standing, including as judges. That's Jaisam al-Jaraid, a Kuwaiti, who was exiled from his own country for saying it, and who adds that Arab states will privately admit they cannot do the same at home. So here's the pattern, and it's the whole answer. In the Middle East, minorities disappear. Christians. Yazidis. Kurds. Baha'is. Druze. They get killed, converted, expelled, or reduced to museum pieces. There is exactly one country in that region where minorities grow, serve, vote, and fight for the state, and it is the Jewish one. Which is not a coincidence, and it's not sentimentality. It's because a people that spent 2,000 years as the minority everywhere else built a country that knows exactly what it's like to be the one they come for. Israel protects the Druze because Israel remembers what it is to be the Druze. And the world condemned it for the rescue. Notice that. And then ask what the condemnation was actually for.